Hi everyone, Karen Orby here with Broken Ground, and today I'm here with one of my students, Karen Hara, who took my Resilient Homestead program a couple years ago now. And like you've been seeing, I've been having different students on to ask them about their experience and why they joined the program and what they've done since. So Karen, why don't we just start out by you telling me why you decided to take the Resilient Homestead program?
Sure. So I was actually drawn to you as a teacher. And so I first met you at Draw the Mountain Center doing a design practicum with Jerome Osentowski. And we designed like the greenhouse there in a weekend. And it was just so fantastic, the energy and like that amount of information I was taking in and just the collaboration. It was just like finding the pieces that I really enjoyed. And so then we sat down and talked in the cafeteria because I had just quit a job of nonprofit work for 15 years and was like, Ian, do you think I could like make a sustainable living out of this? And what do you think? And just picked your brain. And you shared your story with me, which I was really inspired by. And you talked about how you had come from a social activism point of view and had evolved into working in human rights in Guatemala and then with Vandana Shiva in India, which was super cool, and then to where you are now and as a teacher. And so it was just cool to see how you brought your sense of activism into permaculture and just connecting with the land and creating your own food and being resilient. And so that was like what inspired me to sign up with you in your program with the Resilient Homestead. So did I get all of those details right? Or
Yes, you
you have
did.
a
Yeah.
sense of how you got to where you were, add to that at all?
Yeah, I mean, I often tell people that I didn't get into permaculture because of homegrown tomatoes, which of course are delicious, but it was more coming from a sense of focusing on solutions to some of, the ecological crises that we see, the social injustice, and just trying to direct my energy towards something more positive. And that is something that we talk about in the program as well, and just that kind of underlies why we do the work that we do. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about since then we see your background, we see your garden in the background. Tell us a little bit about what some of the key takeaways from the program.
Sure. So we've had a long fall, so I get to sit in my background. I think we're gonna get our frost this year. I'm in Colorado and I took your program online but I was really interested in that cold um, element to it because we quickly get into elevation and get into cold gardening, have a shorter season like you. And so the first thing I did was built a 12-barrel water capture system and then built a compost system and then a chicken coop and had 5 chickens this spring and planted 2 fruit trees to start my food forest. So slowly but surely, when I say it out loud, it sounds like a lot, but like when you're living it, you're like, oh my gosh, how come I don't have like this full grown, like, you know, food forest yet, like you see in all the pictures. So,
Right.
yeah. So yeah, that was some of what you helped me through is like think about what to do first and how to like plan it out thoughtfully. I think about like put the chickens near the garden. I was gonna put the chickens over here or where my compost should be and how it would work the best. So those were super helpful lessons and just looking at the whole system and like coming up with ideas. I feel like you can read all the books and like see all the little reels on Facebook or whatever, but to have a coach and say, hey, can you look at my plan? Can you give me some insights? And you've looked at so many people's properties and plans by now that have a lot of insight and good advice, I think, for helping someone develop a plan. I did mine in my backyard. I'm not a professional permaculturalist or anything or selling in the market, but yeah, it just I feel connected and feel like I have a plan and I'm just gonna keep going at it each season, I guess.
I like that you brought that up. That's what I often say is there's so much information online about permaculture and so many books now. And I think it is that people get lost in all of the information and they don't know how to distill it down. And so having a guide or a mentor to help you through that process,
Yeah.
I think it is super helpful because it is, you end up watching all these videos and having all these ideas, but then it just kind of stays all out there and you don't get it down onto a plan where you can implement in a way that feels, um, like you're moving forward.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming, and I have a pretty organized and mechanical engineer and like thoughtful mind, but it was just like have such a brown thumb and like how do I go from zero to like a place that I could start doing, and you just it helps just start doing, right? Everyone makes mistakes. And I love the point you made that like gardeners have a chance to grow tomatoes like every season. And so like I probably have 20 more chances to grow tomatoes, where like bakers will have like could bake a cake every day, 365 days, right? And get perfect their craft. But we have this other limitation that like is both like helpful to hear and also like disappointing, but it just helps you want to jump in and get started. But you're gonna make mistakes because there's no way to be really good at this, right from the beginning. So it's
Yeah,
helpful to have those people around you in the class to, you know, think about all the ways people are trying to attempt to sort of get this ancient knowledge back and start working with the land and be connected. And so it was really great to have that support too from the other people in the class.
awesome, awesome. Any other, you mentioned that as a key takeaway. Any other takeaways from the program?
Just that it doesn't happen overnight and you need some coaching. It's really helpful to have a coach, at least for me,
Mhm,
to have someone to talk to. And I'm always asking you questions about how you water your food forest or how you do this or how you do that, especially with like living in such an arid
mhm.
um, land, just with the boundaries that we have around our season and temperature and our lack of water. So it's not going to look like the pictures that you see in these books. Like, it's nice to have someone real to talk to be like, is this, possible or not possible?
Yeah, awesome, awesome, and I love that you started, and I remember when you showed me that picture, you sent me a picture of the water capture system that you made, which is amazing, and I love that you started there with water, like, that you're
That's water first.
because in our environment, that is such a critical, thing to consider. Yeah, I love that.
Soil. We're
Yeah.
still trying to get the soil to be rich when it's really just rocks and dirt.
Yes. Gotta start somewhere. Tell me,
Super helpful.
anything else you'd wanna share?
No, I think just taking the class in the winter was helpful. I took a master gardener class last winter because I was like, this is great to have something to do once every 2 weeks. It wasn't too much, it was just enough. And it was like you're resting and you're collecting knowledge and wisdom over the winter and then action and having, planting and doing your things in the spring and summer.
Yeah, yeah, that's very intentional, and we talk about that in the program is just that winter is a time to go inward, it's a time for dreaming and planning, and then in the spring and summer, you're in action, so, yes, this is all about permaculture design, and part of the design is when we hold the program, so well, thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate it. And best of luck with your future implementation. But you've made a great initial start. So thanks so much.
Yes, thank you.